Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I forgot to turn my light on. One of those days, oh my gosh. And I knocked my camera over. Oh, not a good start. At least you know I'm human. So why am I dressed up? We're gonna have some fun today. So let me plug my light in. Yeah, I just got home. My mom's been in the hospital. She's finally back home, which is so nice. She seems to be doing better. But I have this new character coming, and she is Myth America. So sorry about this. Thought I was ready. There we go. So I got all dressed up just for fun. It's a new character talking about different myths that we have that we take as truth. So that's a different channel that I have, but Myth America will be joining us talking about the different myths as far as narcissism. But today we're going to talk about something pretty interesting. How do we become addicted to a person? Did we truly love them? What exactly is going on? Because we end up having the Stockholm syndrome because I feel silly dressed up. You got to have some fun in life. So I see somebody joined in. Feel free to talk away if you would like, or you can go ahead and just listen. But we become addicted to them, and they're our abuser, and we go through a lot of trauma. And Mia, hi. I just am having some fun today. I'm your princess of peace tonight. So I have this new character, Myth America, and I just started a new channel. I'm going to be doing different myths that we take as truth, and some things aren't quite what they truly are. So same with narcissism. A lot of times we hear about men being narcissists, but women honestly can be narcissistic as well. They can even have NPD. I do want to get deeper into the NPD and BPD. My take is it's the same thing. It's just female traits. But that's my mission in life is to debunk that. So Mia, how's your day going? How's everything going with you? I just got home. It's freezing cold out, but I know we've been talking about possibly doing like conventions coming up, and my father had passed, so I have just inherited his PA system. So looking forward to that, where we can meet in person, hopefully, as the channel grows. I promised at 5,000 subscribers, we'll do some traveling and meet you guys in person. We have a great community here, but when we get the intermittent reinforcement, it does something to our brain. It's a traumatic response. We all have triggers from our childhood. We're trying to work through things with the narcissist, trying to come to common ground because we realize we are different people. There's a way that we have to live together or interact with each other. And based on how often they take away our safety net, we're constantly in this state where we feel like we're falling. And if you guys could let me know, I didn't feel Princess looked pretty with headphones on, but let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I did order ear pods that aren't working. So trying to go wireless through Bluetooth, but I've already gone through so many pairs of them. I haven't gotten any that work. But the Stockholm syndrome causes you to fall in love with your abuser. So in the beginning, when we fall in love with this person, we truly have feelings for them, but it is a facade that we are falling in love with. And that's what makes it so hard, that we're in love with something fake. And to keep chasing something that's fake um, is a waste of our time. And we have to start realizing that, because the narcissist doesn't want to change. They will always have that facade up. So we will always be in love with something that's not real. And it's hard to grasp because they present themselves as a certain person, but they're showing a surface level. So we only see them on the surface until they get upset. Something I found interesting today, too, on my drive home from seeing my mom is um, that a lot of people with narcissistic abuse, this is what the video said, a lot of people with narcissistic abuse can handle major traumatic events, but the little tiny things are kind of triggers for us, like your keys not turning quite right, or you drop a bag of groceries and you're just so frustrated. But you can help somebody with a car accident, or jump in, remove a dog from biting somebody, or whatever the situation could be. But the little things, And they were saying that that's kind of a sign of people who are dealing with uh, the aftermath of narcissistic abuse. So if you guys feel free to comment below if you guys get frustrated at the little things. I know those are the things that kind of happen with me. Mia says, yes, I've been keeping you and your family in my prayers. My condolences on the loss of your dad. Thank you. How are things going? Were you in the pageant? I didn't hear you that well. Oh, gosh, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I did not plug in my headphones. I usually wear them. Um, no, I'm just having fun. This is just a messy ponytail and I curled the ends of my hair. No, it's a new character I want to do, Myth America, MYTH, Myth America. So debunking the different myths that are out there in the world. That's a whole new channel. Myth America, Cynthia, that I'm going to be doing because there's a lot of things out there. And I think it's important for us to really realize what is true in life because there's so many things that we're told by the government or by people. You like the new look? I was thinking, should I do this at school tomorrow? I want to incorporate it. I love dressing up. I actually, now that I have my dad's PA system, public announcement system, I had so much fun. I was being so silly with my mom, singing and laughing and being silly. I love microphones. So, yeah, I'm very blessed. We're going to use that for when we meet in person. I can talk to you guys out loud and you can hear me. It reminds me of my shorts. You are fantastic. That horse one, I like that one too. And the cat. The cat one's doing pretty good too. That horse, yeah. And that's what I love about the filters. Their filters are fun. I've had some people respond that I just can't take you serious, but you know, my long content is serious, and then the shorts, those are for fun. But the Myth America, the new character, will be on this channel, but she's going to have a whole channel dedicated to life's myths because we're fooled by a lot of things. And it's getting really bad. Nobody knows what the truth is anymore because there's so many lies out there, and also people who believe things because it becomes urban legend. And me as saying hello to John. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Next time I will use my headset if you can't hear me good. Because sound quality is the most important. I don't have to look like a princess. But the trauma bond is us craving that dopamine hit. And because it's so intermittent, we hang around. We're trained like Pavlov's dog to stick around, to not be willing to break free. We feel at that point that it's our only source of this dopamine hit. The audio is fine. Awesome. Good. I like hearing that because I really don't like, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I got to speak up. It's kind of awkward sometimes, you know, just sitting in your living room, just talking away. I wish I could see you guys. But John is saying, hey to Mia. And the trauma we go through really changes us. And I am hoping that everybody changes for the better, that as we deal with this, that we overcome and come out ahead. I think that is something that is possible. It's difficult. It's not that we fear the future, we fear the past. So if you guys are in that kind of like fawn state where you're not ready to live your life, you're just afraid of being hurt again. And that makes sense. Life isn't always easy, but when we don't live our lives, we start craving our lives, we start missing our lives. And we can either mourn the loss of our life, or we can continue on with it and realize that the past has already happened. So are you guys doing okay today or still struggling? There's good days and bad days that we're going to go through. And I have felt more alive, more myself. And you will get back to being you sooner if you start living your life. You know, gather the information that you need. That's why these channels are fantastic. There's a lot of good information out there, but we have to take control out of our lives. That we set a time limit, maybe get on a schedule. That can be helpful. Make sure you get enough rest. You're eating the right amount of time. You're reconnecting with your friends. It's interesting how people shy away from people when they get too close, or to dismiss the wrong people. It's almost like life is a chase, that we're chasing after each other. And, you know, how to handle that is when we start feeling that we're chasing too much, we have to give the person time to come to us instead of us. Otherwise, eventually it gets exhausting, and it doesn't lead to a fulfilled relationship. So enjoy the people that are in your life. But John says, I did a little rearranging in my living room, tweaked a few projects. Most of my time was spent with the pet crew. I got new glasses. I don't think they're strong enough. One of those days. These are good though, because I can see off in the distance and I can see to read, but I thought they were stronger. So the pet crew is awesome. Yeah, Dixie enjoyed the travel time back from my mom's, because I stop and get her a little treat at a fast food restaurant. So Mia says, living life, but something is just not feeling right. I still struggle when I need something I had, but it's now gone. I get so angry. I curse the narc for the hurt he caused me. It is frustrating, because it's almost like we believed it was a deep love, not just a fly-by-night casual love, to where, like somebody at the gas station, you say hi to them, like that was nice. And if they drop something, I'll help them pick it up. We felt it was probably the deepest love out there, the truest love. And sometimes it blindsides us to where sometimes we didn't see the red flags. Looking back in hindsight, maybe some of it's starting to make sense. Like, whoa, that makes sense. They either worked late or they lied about this. They weren't open, or the depth of the relationship wasn't there. We start seeing it in hindsight. And we never truly know what the true answers are either. That's another thing that makes it frustrating. So yeah, I get it where you're at, Mia. It doesn't feel right. For a long time. That's our brain rewiring. Our body and our mind are connected. And when our mind is off, our body is off. So the more we get our body back in order, eating healthy, getting sleep, and hopefully, not drinking, or at least keeping it to a minimum, or drugs. If you are on prescribed medication, make sure it's the right kind of prescribed medication. If during your breakup with your person, let's say you started losing weight, are you diabetic? Is your dosage still the same, or have things changed? I know some people are on antidepressants that it takes time for those to set in, so that could be something to have to wait out, and it's interesting that those take like 6 to 8 weeks sometimes. Our brains are neuroplastic, which means that they can change over time, and we adapt to things, we cope with things, but it takes time. Just like habits take approximately 28 to 30 days to become a habit, to where it's second nature. So we're trying to get our brain into the second nature state, and that takes time. And Mahogany, hi, I hope you have your princess crown on too. And you've been busy washing clothes and listening. Okay, so you understand why I look like a little princess today. I am Myth America, a new character. Gotta have some fun in life, definitely. And that's the other thing too, dress up, not necessarily like this, but put on a pretty dress or a cool outfit, guys, and just I look so. Thank you. 52 years old, pretending I won a pageant today. It's so funny when I first started dating my first narc. I was 17 and real strict parents. My parents were super strict and I wanted to go see him. We lived across state. I met him in Canada and I lived by Detroit. He lived kind of by Chicago, but in Michigan. And so I had told my parents that I was running for smelt queen, those little tiny fish. It was big in Lake Michigan, and they had in West Michigan, not so much where I grew up, but in West Michigan, it was a big thing where they had beauty pageants all the time. So I had said I'm running for Smelt Queen, and of course I won because I was the only one in it. But it was my excuse to go across state. So I am Smelt Queen 1987. Mia says hello to Mahogany. Good evening, and thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. But I'm gonna think about some different characters that I want to do because sometimes demonstratively it's easier to see some of the red flags. So you like that, Mia? But yeah, I have like all these different outfits. I was a costume person. I had a worldwide costume business, and I'll show you guys this. I bought this. I'll tell you my secret. I should keep it a secret, but I bought this at Goodwill, and I bought it for a pattern, and I needed blue fabric, so I tore it up. I cut into it. So I'll show you my little secret. It's a little dress, and then I cut it because I needed fabric. It's this beautiful gown that I tore up, but it's a secret. Yeah, but I have all these different costumes and I love acting and getting creative. So that's part of the healing for me. And if I can bring you guys good information, that's what's important. And thank you with my jeans underneath. You guys are so sweet. So I just like having fun. It gives me a motivation too. I'll start doing my hair for you guys. And I had earrings on, but I thought I was going to wear my headset. So I did have earrings on. Got to complete it. So I'll tell you, this is a good example. You know, just doing something different is fun. Change your hairstyle. You're here listening, folding clothes. Awesome. I wish you were here folding my clothes. John says, I'm thinking of asking you to the prom. I want to kind of do something like that where when we do have our convention, 5,000 subscribers, hit that subscribe button, that we do something fun like that, you know, like a second chance prom where we go with a non-narcissistic person. So John, I know you are non-narcissistic. I don't know how you would match my outfit. Would you have to cut up your tuxedo to match? And Mahogany's asking how you've been, John. Yeah, it's good. John had to go away for a couple days, but we're good to have, glad to have you back. Last time you were quiet. John's usually not quiet. So yeah, you guys are free to listen, but interact if you want. And we have a really good community. You guys are great with those thumbs up. And the addiction, though, is something that we really do need to address because as we come down from that trauma bond, we're still ruminating about them. We're still trying to get that drug, that dopamine hit. And it can be quite painful. And it's something to take seriously because, you know, it almost overtakes our life because you think about people who have nicotine fits or alcohol withdrawal or even just, you know, methamphetamines, whatever it may be, that it starts to consume their life. If you've seen a smoker, they're fine. And then all of a sudden they start getting angry, agitated, and it's almost like they have to drop everything to go get a new pack of cigarettes. And when we're going through our withdrawal, it's almost like we start doing that. To where nothing else matters almost. Hi, Melissa. How are you? I am Myth America today. I'm introducing a new character to everybody. I have a new channel that I just created. I have one little video just to make it go. But in the community tab, there's a link to it if you guys want to subscribe to that. So this channel deals with narcissism, and the other one deals with a little bit of narcissism, but the myths, the lies, because we are in a narcissistic society. I see the changes. It was interesting too on how people are aging, the different stressors that we go through, and I'm a little worried. I was with my mom this weekend, so I haven't really been able to see the outcome of the Chinese air balloon that was shot down, and my mom said something about two others were like by the Carolinas or shot down. You know, I'm just hoping no war breaks out, or I don't know what that's all about. So Melissa's doing okay. Okay, Mia says hello to Melissa, and good to have you guys here. John says not too bad. Cleaned up a little, did some work on my project, spending time with the pets. So that's always good. And it's interesting too on the shorts that I've done that a lot of people are really enjoying the animal ones where I talk about service animals, that a lot of people can relate to how animals, let's get that fireplace going for you guys. There we go. That people can relate to how animals really are soothing, that they do help. I know my Dixie Doo is super sweet. Where is she? I don't know. Always there for me in the corner. But they can calm you. I wanted to do some research on. I know when we're in love with somebody, we start walking in step with them. We also our heartbeats start becoming uh, in tune with them. That's not. Oh, I wish I remembered that word. And together. But I think the heart rate of a dog might be 140. Ours is not that high, 60 to 80 maybe. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if we kind of pick up some of their respirations or heartbeat. I think it might be different though, but that would be something kind of interesting. Is that in tune? Because when we love somebody, our heartbeats do start to go together in unison. That's what I was looking for. But when our whole lives are disrupted over just a change of heart, you know, it's horrible. It's painful. A lot of trauma happens when things are unpredictable. A lot of regret. And, you know, since if there was better communication, you could see it falling apart. And the fact that we were willing to work on it. And it's almost like they don't know what they're missing. They didn't take the time to understand us. And I have where there's hard love and soft love. Where it's hard love is it makes the other person uncomfortable, and they go into defense mode. So when we're communicating with people, we have to do what's known as soft communication, and to where we say something like, I feel sad about this, as opposed to I'm mad at you. It's putting the like when we're talking, I feel sad. I feel sad. I'm mad at you is like attack. So you can see the way the hands are. If you can kind of think when you're talking. Basil, greetings, Cynthia, and soul survivors. Yes, we are soul survivors, getting stronger every day. And yeah, Basil, I was talking about my new character, Myth America. We were talking about myths. So how's your day going, Basil? Good to have you here. And Mia saying hi to Melissa. But Mia says, hello, Basil, good evening. So moving forward, we're kind of hurt. There are things that we're going to have to be aware of, that we don't put our baggage onto a new relationship, and also letting go of that person. We're going to have to go through a struggle. If we don't go through that struggle, if we don't heal ourselves, we're going to come at people with that hard communication. It's because we hurt so much. I had that one person that I've done several videos for. Um, he struggles with the way he wants to talk to the person. He wants to reach out to them. And so he tells, I was just thinking I would say this. Um, and he's not seeing that there's blame shifting going on, that he is taking accountability, but he's still putting it on the other person. And if you do that, even if it's legitimate, if you do hard communication, they go into defense mode. So you can use this with other kinds of relationships, not even just always narcissistic relationships, but when you're communicating with people, to try to use the soft communication. It's okay to tell people what you're feeling, but you don't want them to feel like they are on the attack. Um, you know, uh, you can say, I'm frustrated by the house being a mess. And that's kind of a blank statement. I am frustrated about the house, as opposed to, you keep leaving your shoes here. It's pissing me off. I've told you how many times. So it puts them in defense mode. And they either don't want to listen to it, it'll cause them to shut down, or it'll cause them to lash back. So they could yell at you, well, you leave your purse on the counter, so quit bitching at me if you can't keep it clean too. It's just a different outcome that happens. So John is saying hi to Melissa and also to Basil. So the things that make us happy are the things that we have to start focusing on. And that's when you're going to feel alive again. So when you're starting to feel down in the dumps, plan a trip. Hopefully, summer's coming soon. Spring concerts in the park. There's a lot of free things that can happen. As we grow a little bit more as a channel, I hope people say, hey, this is what I did. There was a free concert, a free movie in the park, or I went rollerblading, whatever it is. I found, I don't know, a botanical garden, different kinds of things, and to give each other ideas of what's out there. Basil says, my neurogenic bladder symptoms were aggravating these days, but I changed my diet to manage it better. How is that going? My mom is having issues with her bladder. She's had Botox treatments to her bladder. Which is supposed to help with retention. Yeah, being a girl, not always easy. Guys, let's myth bust that. We'll see what's going on with guys too. But yeah, diet. That's the other thing too, different food allergies. The red dye with some people causes people acting out. Hey, Calibri, look at Miss Cinderella. Yes, Cynthiarella. Hi, Cynthia, and hello to everyone. Yes, I am introducing a new character, so we're celebrating her. Myth America, talking about different myths. And one of the myths with narcissism, that, women aren't narcissists. We are. Not all of us, but it is possible for females, because a lot of times you hear, your narcissist, he. It can be anybody, any. It can be even. They don't diagnose it in people under 18. So children can be narcissistic, but they will never get the diagnosis early on, just because of the different hormones, the learning scale. They are going into adulthood where they need to go through certain experiences to come out on top. Oh gosh, so what do we have? Chili, spices, caffeine. Oh, okay. So I thought you were giving us a recipe. Chili, spices, caffeine, and sugar aggravate symptoms. Of the bladder. Interesting. I can see caffeine. Caffeine is a diuretic. So you will notice too, if you cut out soda pop that has caffeine, I think tea, is this correct? Tea has more caffeine than coffee. Isn't that correct? John says, hey, Calibri, what's up? Cynthia looks great tonight. Alcohol as well. Yeah. And alcohol can cause bloating, inflammation. It is high content of sugar in some of the drinks, and it all affects us, So we already have the abuse that we went through, which can cause irritable bowel syndrome, um, lack of sleep, stress. This is interesting, guys. As far as my weight, I've lost 78 pounds. And then, what was I going to say? When it comes to stress, there are times when, for me, if I eat over, I'm 6'1", but if I eat over 1,200 calories, I gain weight. But there was times I would eat like 600 to 800 calories because, when you get depressed, you're not always taking good care of yourself, but when you're stressed. So I would gain weight when I only had like 600 to 800 calories, which makes no sense. But when our body becomes stressed, what I've noticed with my body is the more stressed I am, it doesn't have to do with calories. The more stressed I am, the more likely I am to gain weight. When I'm more relaxed, um, it's different. I don't put on weight as much. And we're talking lower calories than usual and gaining weight. I see a pattern of it being related to stress. And Basil says, yes, tea is just as bad as coffee, but coffee is worse in my experience. And I can kind of understand that because I drink tea and I don't really notice it as much. But yeah, with coffee, I do. Maybe because I drink 80% coffee, 20% tea as a balance. John says, I do tend to overdo it myself with coffee. Yep. And it can give you agitation. Nicotine is bad too. I know a lot of people, they don't get it. They get agitated, lose focus, just because they want the nicotine. And Dr. Boom, thank you. Yes, I got all dressed up for you guys. So thank you, Dr. Boom. I had earrings in. I was going to wear my headphones, so I'm not quite. And I didn't do my nails, so luckily I'm inside my home, so nobody sees I don't have nails or earrings. But thank you. Um, and I think I'm going to do this, dress up a little bit more. I love doing little skits and costumes and something a little different, something fun. And I think, like John was saying, we should, a prom. We should do a prom or an 80s night. I had a great time with my sister. We did a murder mystery, and I dressed up as a was 1960s, 1930s, 1930 psychiatrist, and I made this old-fashioned suit. It was pretty cool. Everybody was all dressed up. It was neat. And John says, I'm struggling quitting smoking. Yes, the stress is a huge factor. Hey, Dr. Doom, look at those muscles, John, flexing for us. Calibri says, just don't dress up like a narc. LOL. I could never do that. Nope. Basil says, yes, Cynthia is shining. I'm a little shining star. So you guys are sweet. And that's the thing, like you guys will see, if you go back, I've been on YouTube for about a year, and you'll see some of my early videos. I hope you are starting to see a transformation in even just myself, that this is a living testimony. I don't cry anymore. I mean, every now and then I might, but not on camera. I could talk to you guys now. I've had one where I really cried. There's times I choke up, and I can freely talk now. You will start to find a peace again. And then you guys can join my beauty pageant. But I hope that's a testimony to you guys that there is hope. So there's another myth. Myth America Cynthia is debunking another myth that we're going to be stuck like this forever. Now, there are some scars that we're going to have. But, I have burn scars, and they're a part of my character now. So, if you can embrace it, that's who we are. We went through something traumatic, and you see people who have lost limbs and they've overcome that with the use of prosthetics. Others don't put in the effort. It was really sad with my father. He lost a leg, and he could have been walking. And I know you have fear of falling. You have fear of And it does hurt. It does hurt. If you've ever had a broken bone, I've had so many broken bones that, like when you have a foot cast on, you take that cast off and your foot feels like you're walking on these pebbles. It can be quite painful because your foot starts to atrophy. It's not used to pressure. And walking on your newly healed leg hurts. So I can imagine that my dad, when he put his prosthetic on, that it was extreme pain because it's not used to the pressure right there. The nerves are still tender. They're not toughened up. The skin's also tender. So I don't think he wanted to push through that. I know when I had my cast off, if you ease into it, it does get better, but it hurts. It hurts for a long time. And you have to go through that pain. You have to toughen up. And I'm able to walk now. And I think my dad would have been able to walk a lot more than he did. Also, building up the endurance is important. So there's times near the end that he did start trying to walk a little bit more. I was real proud of him. But it takes time to heal. It takes time to toughen up. And also, if you think about it, to get rid of the obstacles or the trip ups. So as an analogy to the walking with the prosthetic, you got to make sure it's safe. There's no trip hazards, no slip hazards. And same with us, if we see a trip hazard in our healing, we avoid it. Like for a long time, I didn't listen to music. I didn't listen to movies that were emotionally too stirring for me. So I know now I got that PA system from my parents that I had so much fun. I was singing and laughing. Like that's a part of me. I let that part come back out. But there's times, the healing process, we have to deal with what's at hand at first and let the healing take place. Just like with my broken leg, I can't do it in reverse. I can't start running when I have my leg broken. I have to let it heal and start out slowly with the walking and then the running, that there are steps. You can't jump from today and just go, I'm healed. I'm going to start dating and I can't wait to get married. And, it takes time. It takes time to invest in people. Kalibi says, I embrace my knowledge on how to detect them. While regular folks are still being fooled, there's some positive to all of these experiences. And I agree with that. A lot of people don't even see it, as far as even just how I talked about the hard and soft love. That, that people still talk with that hard love. And we're not always taught how to communicate with people. We don't understand why people are on the defense, why people come back at us. We're like, I'm just being nice. Sometimes we give advice that isn't wanted and they take it as a cut down on their ability to do things. It's a hard balance to understand people. And, if we can start looking at how we talk, that will make a difference too. As far as all the different narcissism channels, I'm going to use this as an example. I can sit here and present something like narcissists do this and they'll rage and they'll do that. So it's a scholarly talk. And the narcissists who are self-aware, they'll say the same thing. Do. It's scholarly. We're talking. You can ask me questions. It's a scholarly kind of conversation. But when we start asking people to either change a couple things because it's bothering us or to share their feelings, that's not a scholarly talk. That hits home. That goes deep. So it's not necessarily just absorbing and understanding. It's sharing a part of yourself or reflecting on a part of yourself. And that gets hard. Sometimes for anybody. But John says it literally becomes a skill in determining how to deal with these kinds of individuals. And They take everything almost in reverse. I had that video on the reverse narcissist, that their mind thinking is looking at the negative. And, you know, they'll always be on the defense. And that's why when you talk with them, you can't give them ammunition because they will use that against you. Calibri says, the two narcs saw me the other day at the garage area. They were admiring my new car. I told them it's my new leased car. The male narc unashamedly uttered, he is jealous. Why do you think he said that? They were saying, oh, that he is, oh, I understand. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm jealous. Not, I'm happy for you. Or that's fantastic. That's a gorgeous car. So you did get your car. Remember, I was thinking about you a couple days ago. I was like, man, that's some high dollar. It's like, no, I don't want that bill. So congratulations. Oh, wait, this is the lease. Are you leasing it long term? Is that what you're doing? It was a Mazda something, wasn't it? Or Subaru. There's something Mazda and Subaru. Kalibi says, I told him not to be jealous. Yes, you got your car. Awesome. And John says, funny, I get that reaction with some people in regards to the invention hobby I have. And, it's kind of like a compliment that, they want to copy you in a sense that you have what they want. But the thing is, are they going to go and create that? I teach a class on the different feelings that we have. Tell us something about ourselves. So when you're jealous, it lets us know something that we might want for ourselves. So it helps guide us, but it's not like we should tear you down. We should not want to take that from you. So sometimes, it's hard on what to say too. But yeah, they'll say, they didn't learn that if you don't want to say anything nice, don't say anything. We would, and this is where it gets tricky. We would have a safer world where we're all happy, but are we all living in a lie? That's where I'm trying to find the balance, and how we're presenting things to people. Because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So do we not tell somebody that they're irritating us? Do we not tell somebody that we're let down? I feel it's kind of, maybe you should, John says, funny, I get that reaction. So yeah, I can see that people want certain things, but if they're not willing to do it, then yeah, they're not using that jealousy as a guide, to change things about themselves. So I am very happy for you. And that could be my little princess car. You can escort me. So Kalibi says it's a Mazda MX-5 RF with retractable roof. It's retractable fastback. Love it. That is awesome. Oh, that's cool. Now, when you say a retractable roof, is that a convertible or is that like a sun type portion? But yeah, congratulations. What color did you get? Basil says, since a very long time ago, I'm starting to consider no contact. But in this time, it might be forever, and I'll never look back again until the end of time. Yeah, if, we're going to protect ourselves. If they're not changing, if they're not willing to do anything, to consider no contact, but in this time it might be forever. And I see that you're not really, you're not ready to say it will be forever. That we got to be careful too. We're not playing with people's emotions. If we're going to say goodbye, we're going to say goodbye. I know a lot of people are like, just go no contact. I feel you should let them know at least once, because they are human too. And, we didn't like being ghosted. We didn't like the silent treatment. They're not going to like being told, sorry, no contact. But let them know what's up. Otherwise, they're going to be searching for the answers just like we've been searching for the answers. So it might stimulate them to come to your house more, or to call out or have frustrations. That's just my take on it. Or to get revenge, when they're, fuck you, you're not answering your phone. And so then they seek revenge. It is a convertible. That's what I thought what you meant by retractable. Oh, that is fantastic. Like a Targa top. The color is champagne. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Kalibi says, I have transferred my dash cam to detect any kind of vandalism. That's why I got scared about convertible. I've been wanting a convertible, but yeah, I get worried about, them slashing the, so is it a soft top? Would it be a soft top? I have no hesitation to get the cops to get them. I don't blame you. You got to protect yourself. Basil says, crazy how a narc has so much energy to create drama around many people around them constantly, even after the age of 60. Yep, it doesn't stop. And they can proactively cause drama, but even just the way that they handle things causes drama. Not showing up or not letting us know or getting angry, changing plans without telling us things, that it causes drama even through omission. So they can proactively do it. They can do it through omission as well. Kalibi says it's a retractable. That's what I want, a retractable hard top. It takes 13 seconds to fold it. Oh, you're lucky. So I'm sure you worked hard for that though. So gosh, that is neat. And this is now I know they have like conversion bands. When you get a convertible, can you order it that way, or does it have to be converted? Do they build a regular car first and then convert it, or is that an option? I've never looked past, never was looking at buying a new convertible, so I'm not sure. Basil says, Cynthia, you missed one of, oh, what? I missed one of your, I did. Oh, did I? You might have to come in again. I try, like I said, I got these new glasses. They are not strong enough. So, did I miss one? Did it go through? I'm not seeing it. Can you resend it? Sorry. There was another, how I'm just like a princess. There was a beauty pageant where one girl, trying to remember if she actually did commit suicide. I want to say she did, or at least really thought about it. Her answers were really confused. She was probably really nervous, and she sounded like a bimbo. I'm not trying to be mean, but she did. It's like, what are you talking about? And going in circles and not making sense, trying, but it's like, what? And the outcome of people's expectations, she should have done a good job. She should have possibly placed or won, or at least shined on that day, and she failed. She got nervous, or blanked. Sometimes you hear a question, you're so nervous that you're like, I remember 3 words of what they said, so I have to answer. All the pressure and just the torment that she went through. It went viral over the internet of how she answered that question. And I'm not sure. I wish I could remember, but it was very close, if not full suicide. And people affect people, that it's a sad world, Kalibi says it's a particular model made by Mazda. It's called MX-5 RF with a solid retractable hardtop. It's just like a coupe when the top is up. Oh, I bet it's neat, neat, neat. Basil, please retype your comment. My goodness. Sorry, I'm not seeing it. And it's good exercise. This is typing class. You guys know I'm a teacher. So sorry about that. So I don't know. Do you guys like it when I dress up? Should I dress up more? I gotta have fun. Yeah, there's times too, that Dr. Yes, please. Okay, I'll start doing that. And like I said, I just got home from my mom, so the hair is a fake fancy. It took no time. But I was kind of like, this is kind of easy. I might start doing that. Helps keep it out of the way too. But yeah, I have all these costumes. And where's Mrs. Gloom? Mrs. Gloom. I could do a Mrs. Gloom. Judy Bloom and Mrs. Gloom growing up. Mrs. Gloom. Yeah, give me guys some, or give me some characters. We're going to do maybe a Mrs. Gloom. I like that. Mrs. Gloom characters. We're going to do this. We're going to have some fun. I got to put it together. My uncle is a movie producer out in Los Angeles, and I'm thinking about contacting. I'm doing research on green screens and all those kinds of things because I tried doing a couple things on location, and it's really hard with the wind blowing or the light going the wrong way. Or I did some at the beach where I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this in public, you know. But Kalibi says there's a Dr. Gloom. I'm just adding Mrs. Gloom. Okay. I like that. Melissa says, I'm trying to get rid of my ego defenses. I'm trying to reach out to my inner child. Yeah. And we have to let them know it's okay. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to cry. And we're going to get through this and figure out the steps to get through it because we're scared. And I know I was a varsity diver in high school, and I got stuck where I was doing good. And I back smacked too many times in a row, too hard to where it gave me a mental block. I think it's similar to what Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast that can't remember the exact term, where they get stuck in that fear cycle to they lose track of their rotation, their location. And for the longest time, I just kept smack, smack, smack. And I finally, the diving teacher was like, coach was like, if you don't get this, you can't be on the team. And I was like, oh, I had all the other dives down, and it was just that mental block. I just kept freezing and being too scared to continue on with the rotation. So my mind stopped in the middle. If I let go of my fear, I would have been fine. So what I did is I finally got up the strength to do it, to just throw myself into it and let go of that fear. I actually did an extra half rotation. And I never did that. It was a 2.5 flip. I was trying to do a double flip. So I take that as kind of a sign that we can overachieve. I overachieved then because I let go of my fear. And I hope you guys take that to heart, that when we're afraid, if we get the strength, it can lead to something better, not just the expected outcome. Then I had to learn how to do just 2. But I think that's an inspirational story. So if you like that, give me a thumbs up. So getting rid of the ego defenses, some of us, get down on ourselves. Like, I am a good person. Why didn't they pick me? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not a good cook? Am I not rich enough? But we have to know who we are. We have to know that, we were kind. We were loyal, and we were unfortunately screwed over. And it's inevitable with a narcissist. They recreate it. And even if they don't purposely do it, they do too many of those hard communications. They tune us out. They're too dismissive. And with the future faking, they will promise something, so we think we are back in a safe spot. And then they take that from us. So it's like fall after fall after fall, where we thought we were safe, kind of like a trust fall. And they moved, and we got damaged. So it's an emotional trust fall that we gave them, and they didn't catch us. They let us fall, and encouraged us to fall. I'll be there to catch you. And they took away us being safe. So John says, when my girlfriend got me my first electric scooter a few years ago, I saw the jealousy in some of my neighbors pretty soon. They started buying them. Narcs like to do that. Yeah. And we have to remember too, though, yes, there are narcissists that will do that, but people do that too. If you notice, I've been going through this at school where one lady got her hair cut. Now everybody's getting their hair cut. People follow trends. People do get jealous. Like I said, jealousy does let us know what we want. And, if they were jealous and took your scooter, that's kind of crappy. They wanted to achieve it too. That's sometimes human nature. But if it's malicious, or they don't want to talk to you now, you think you're too good for us, that's more narcissistic than people just copying. We all have cars. And, you can't say somebody bought a car, now they're jealous of you. But I see what you're saying, John. But it goes to the intent, that, oh, well, I have to have a better one than you, or I have to one up you, or I have to keep up with the Joneses, that they're not happy. So they want a scooter, but if they buy a scooter and they don't want a scooter, so they just keep up with the Joneses, that's kind of stupid, false representation of who they are, what they want. But I'm jealous too, John. Will you share? No. Scooters can be fun. Yeah, it's a tough thing. It is human nature. But that feeling, like I said, when I teach that class, guides us sometimes. I'm jealous that person's so fit. Well, then do something about it and go exercise. You can't say, I'm not going to go exercise because I don't want them thinking I want to be like them. It can be motivational sometimes too, but when you want to undermine someone, if you're jealous somebody's skinny or thin or fit, that I don't know, put butter in their coffee, or some people use it as creamer. Did you know that? I've never tried it. It's brutal. But if you try to undermine them or take it away from them, that's a toxic kind of jealousy, as opposed to human trait. We should be happy for people, though. So I'm happy for you, John. And I'm sure you would share too. That's the thing too. I see you sharing. So Kalibi says, it was raining all day and my car got dirty. So the male narc noticed the dirt on my car, not the car. Of course, I've expected that jealousy. Yep. They focus on the negative. I would come see your car. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And they will look at the negative. So thank you for pointing that out. Every little thing. Basil says, amazing fact that Cynthia was an athletic swimmer. Yes, I was on this varsity swimming and diving team. So yeah, being this tall, definitely. And I love gymnastics, but I am 6'1". That's hard. I do know, like when I would do my inward dives, my hair would hit the dive. That's when you stand on the back and then you flip in this way. So you stand this way and flip in. I got really close to the board. There's a guy, I saw him hit his face. They're kind of like, I can't remember his name. The diver that had AIDS in the Olympics. I think he smacked his head that way too. Mine was just my hair. But yeah, there's lots of things about me. I loved playing softball. I did play basketball. Didn't like it. Wish I knew I liked volleyball. Even today, I still love ice skating and roller skating. So we could do that. That brings me back to my childhood too. I got roller skates in my kitchen ready to go. I wish I had my ice skates with me because I would have gone to the ice rink while I was at my mom's. There it's really nice. You have pretty much a whole ice rink to yourself. And where I live now, it's so crowded. Let me make sure and we'll address getting rid of our ego. Let me catch up and then we'll go back to that. But yeah, they will focus on the negative. And Kalibi says, hold on. Basil says, I've been driving a Suzuki Jimmy. Very simple yet beautiful car. Yep. And I'm kind of like that too. Yeah, I don't need all the over the top stuff, I don't even know the names of the fancy cars. I know what a Lamborghini is, but I don't even know. Who was it? Andrew Tate had some car. I'm like, oh, that's a car? I don't know. John says exactly my point. So true. Kalibi says, I would be happy for someone if that person bought a new car or a new scooter, whatever makes them happy. I am honestly happy for them. And that's how we should be. We should be happy, realizing that we have certain things that they might not have. They have certain things. And if we all come together, it's the best of both worlds. And Dr. Doom, my tall princess. Yes, definitely super tall, 6'1". John says, that's how I feel, Kalibi. Just say another guy and I go for the same job. I go there for sure. I'm going to get it, but the other guy does. Oh, well, I wouldn't get jealous because he got the job instead. Yeah. And, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be the bigger person, but part of that too, John, is we feel that we can have a different opportunity. And when we get caught in these narcissistic abuse cycles, that we don't feel sometimes that we have a different opportunity. So we might be sad that we lost that job opportunity, but we still get out there. And we have to remember, as far as relationships, it's not a one and done. That just like a job interview, when you're ready, you can start dating again. And, just because a mate is offered to you doesn't mean you have to take it, just like going to a job interview. If that job is offered to you and it doesn't feel right, you don't have to say yes. So don't feel obligated to people that they invested 3 dinners. Now I have to put out, or I have to whatever. Stay true to yourself. And Lily, you will be in and out. Awesome. Good to have you here. Basil says, I used to wish that I was a bit taller, but I got over it. Yes. I talking about jealousy. I had all these broken bones, like I told you, and I was in the waiting room, and there was one lady who I had her knee removed. So her knee, or I'm sorry, her uh, leg bones were fused without the knee. They took the knee out. And so she was shorter, and she had, I don't even know, like this high platform on her shoe, and she had to walk straight legged. And she's like, yeah, they shrunk my leg. And I was like, oh, you're so lucky. And I wanted to take like 2 inches out of my thigh, 2 inches out of my lower leg. And people do that. They do it sometimes to increase their height, where they kind of like take apart their legs and have braces. And then it takes years for that. So yeah, there's times just accept what you are, and a few inches here and there. So I wish we could share, Basil. I wish you could give you a couple of inches and you could take a couple. There's times, and you got to think about it too. There's times it's really nice. Like I stand out. You will see me. And I can also see like what's going on. That's been kind of nice. I kind of feel bad sometimes for people who are like 5 feet tall in a crowd, that they can't see what's ahead. They just see somebody's back. I can see, where the next crosswalk is. Basil says narcs would never admit at times that they are cruel and selfish, then laugh after it. So, they would admit. Yeah, they would. Yeah, like I'm an ass. You see what I just did? Yeah, they'll do that stuff a lot. Yeah, or they'll joke about it. Like, what? I'm just joking. I called you a failure. I'm just joking. You're like, that hurt. Lily says, had to put almost 18-year-old red tabby Maggie to rest yesterday. Old and frail, hard weekend, but cherished her every day. Really hard, but broken heart. Oh, you had to. I thought you said almost had to. Oh, that is hard. 18 years is a beautiful long life, though. So you were blessed with that. It's still heartbreaking. And like I said, with the different shorts that I've done on animals, support animals, they brighten our days. They brighten our lives, give us a little bit of a purpose. I got to take care of them. I got to get home. And Mahogany, you are still here. Good. Thanks for telling me that. I'm glad you're still here. And so Mahogany, how have you been though? How have you been lately? Mia says, hello, Lily. So sorry to hear about your loss. And that's hard. It's going to take time to get over that as well. Let me scroll down. Lily. Oh, thank you. It's my new character, Myth America, where I debunk a bunch of stuff. I have a new channel. If you guys go to my community tab, you'll see where you can like and subscribe, or at least subscribe. That's going to have myths from all over the world, different kinds of things that we're fooled about. And on this channel, she's going to be a character dealing with the myths of narcissism. And I think I'm going to have a lot of blooper reels because it's so hard for me to say myths and look beautiful, Myths America. So thank you. Kalibi says, so sorry to hear that, Lily. I still feel sad when I put down my kitty of 18 years, 4 years ago. Yeah, there's times it takes a long time. And it's good to think about the good times, you know, that'll give you some peace and comfort that you were lucky to have them instead of feeling sad they're gone. Kind of change the mindset that I was lucky I had them 18 years. And it'll bring a happiness instead of sadness to your heart. Easier said than done. So yes, having her cremated. Lily says, I wish I could show picture. Most beautiful cat and smart. Aww. A red tabby sounds really beautiful, though. Kalibi's sending lots of sunflowers. Lily, feel better. Yeah, it's a grieving process. Mahogany says, I'm doing good. I love hearing that. John saying, I'm sorry for your loss. I've lost a few pets. Yeah, John's had quite a few fairly recently. Yeah, it's something that's going to happen with Dixie. I don't know when. My mom today was like, Dixie's walking around like an old lady. I'm like, well, she's like 11 or 12. Lily says I was by her side, and vet and tech were so nice. Life's a trip. Yeah. It's nice that you were able to be there. Because they do say that the, you know, pets will look for their owner. And we can comfort them too. You know, they were there for us. Mia says animals just love you unconditionally. They just have such a gentle, loving spirit. And that's what's so nice. And they pick up on your emotions. I talked about how Dixie, literally, I was crying and she came up and she literally just put her paws there and snuggled me. So yeah, Lily, lots of love. And she's saying thank you. And they are gentle. You're right, Mia. Basil says, Cynthia, you have seen a show called The Sopranos. The lead actor had therapy sessions, even though he's a mob boss. In that series, he had therapy. I'm very naive. I'll tell you my Sopranos story. Growing up, my parents were very strict. So I really wasn't allowed to watch even G-rated things. So I did see a couple episodes here and there. I had a friend who was Italian, and he was a band player, lead singer in a band, very, very talented. And so he's like, the Sopranos are having an audition. It's in North Carolina. I don't know if I should do it. I mean, I am Italian, and I'm thinking, why is he telling me he's Italian? Like, what does it have to do with anything? I thought sopranos meant alto, soprano, tenor, bass. And I thought he's telling me he's going to like audition for a band. He also did acting. He was in The Wiz as the lion. He also did a lot of different things. So I was like, oh, you definitely should. I said, you should definitely audition for The Sopranos. What are you going to sing? He's like, what am I going to sing? So I thought, I thought it was a band and not a show. And that's why he was telling me, because he's Italian, he thought he should do it. And bringing up, as far as what I think you're saying, I think you're saying in the show that he did go to therapy. And I wish I could remember who paired with what, but different dictators who destroy people's lives. They become paranoid. Sometimes you see it in the Bible. Sometimes you see it with, I think it was Hitler. I can't remember all the ones that match up, but to where they couldn't sleep in the same place at the same time, or consistently, that they have this almost like paranoia that they're not safe. So they can cause all this destruction. And that's their karma, is not feeling safe. So yeah, they start having certain things happen to them. So in that movie, the mob boss might have some guilt, might have some frustrations, like I can't do it right. What's wrong with me? I should be a better murderer, whatever it is. The mafia boss. Yeah. And I guess I want to say it begins with G. Gambino. I look like somebody's, I think they said daughter, like one of the top mafia. I look like a daughter of one of them, according to somebody. Kalibi says, I felt that it's inhumane to let them suffer for long. If you would help them cross that rainbow bridge, do it with lots of compassion. Yeah. Yeah, they do suffer sometimes. I feel you. Lee says, right, kind of cathartic to know she had the best life. Yeah, big hugs. I wish I could give you a hug. John says, my hamster, April, is getting old. She's having trouble getting around now, but I'm spending as much time as I can with her. She's very tough. And you'll see some of them are fighters. And Basil says to John, sorry for your pet's loss. Yeah, he did lose a few pretty close together. That can definitely be hard. Oh, Lily, I wish. Big hugs. Big hugs. I wish I could do that for you. And physical touch, is important. And that's the other thing that's really nice about animals, uh, is it's soothing, And I know with I had cats, and cats helped me. I think I had a haunted house, that you hear a sound, and I'm like, it's cat, it's cat. I'm like, the cat's right by me, and you hear the sound in the kitchen, but it was, it gave me some peace where I'm like, no, this cat, the cat knocked that down. Lily says, Narc just dropped daughter off, and he gave me a hug. Yeah. And they're not always horrible. There are times that they can do kind things. Um, So how did you feel when you got that hug? And that's what's confusing. Do we leave them? Do we keep them around? Now, I know you're not with them. You're not pursuing a relationship. Um, you know, uh, they are humans, and, they have needs like we have needs. But what happens is that their needs trump everything. And so they'll be there when it's convenient, um, but it's not consistent. And when it's not consistent, that causes that trauma bond, that causes the confusion. You guys are fantastic with those thumbs up. Thank you. Lily says, oh, it was fine. Nice. He liked the cat. Yeah. And some narcissists love animals, some hate them. But yeah, definitely if you see somebody abusing an animal, that's probably a vulnerable narcissist. Uh, and the grandiose, I feel like animals. I think there's a difference. Um, I don't know. There is a vulnerable one who flip flops. He seems like he likes the animals and he bitches about them all the time. No, there's some vulnerable ones that like animals. It's starting to pop in my head. And it's almost like they see the unconditional love that they can just take. They can pull it out when they need it. Kalibi says, just like the narcs, they are inhumane how they treat their victims. They feel pleasure seeing them suffer mental anguish. And that's the difference between somebody who is a narcissist and somebody who isn't. We all make mistakes. We all get a little selfish at times. Just like right now, if I ask Lily to come help me move, she might be like, Now is not a good time. I need to focus on me. So is she a bad friend? She's just going through something, and I can't be all pissed off at her for not helping. She needs some time too. Um, but the narcissists, they don't communicate the things. They let us down, and they manipulate. We go out of our way, like in that scenario. I can ask Lily, "Will you help me move?" And she's like, "I'm going through too much right now." And it's like, okay, but a narcissist would want your help, Lily. So I'd be like, look, if I don't get this out tonight, they're going to burn my house down and, whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, all my family heirlooms, and I have to do this, and I need your help. Nobody else is going to help me. And I'm manipulating you, not caring about what you're going through. Um, there's a difference between caring. We should be with people who care about us. Um, Basil says, my dogs can't stop shedding. Yes, same here. Oh my gosh. And you said plural. Oh, I just had my Dixie do. Where is she? I don't know where I had the heat up because it is winter and I'm wearing a gown with with my alterations. I wish I didn't cut this dress. I needed blue fabric and I couldn't get the right blue. I made what was it? A Supergirl outfit out of the portion of this dress. It was like a time sensitive thing. I'm like, dang it. The other stuff was in the right blue. Because I like this dress. So Kalibi says, I wouldn't trust the narcs with my pet friends. These narcs have no conscience. So yeah, there's people, they'll show their true selves and you can tell. So to continue, Basil says, it's difficult if I don't brush them daily for 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, they will shed. We had an American Eskimo, which is like a toy Samoy, and you would look in our backyard because we had growing up, we had a backyard that was fenced in, and it was just covered. It looked like snow. There was so much. She would just tuft and tuft. Dixie sheds a lot, but um, yeah, Vassal. Oh my gosh. Lily says, thanks, John, and everyone. Lots of love. John says, the only person that I was able to trust with my pets was my girlfriend. And yeah, it's just like a newborn baby sometimes. Like, nope. You're a doctor? Nope. This is my baby. Lily says, I would never say that. I would come help you to get my mind off of things. And I know it was just kind of like an example of there are times, there are times that we do need time to ourselves, and um, or even say, can we just do it tomorrow? Things like that. But I know you would. You have such a true heart, Lily. Basil says, Cynthia, are narcs more likely to commit suicide at some point in their life, as I was told by a therapist once. That's what the research says. Yes. So yes, um, they have such inner turmoil that I think during the discard phase, we get a taste of their life. Um, so not necessarily that we're narcissists, but we become dismissive, we shut people out, we dissociate, we are confused, we have brain fog, and it's a taste of what they go through. We can still go to work, we can still communicate with people, we can still, hey, good morning, how's it going, I can't wait for today. uh, Need to cry. So they hide it. They hide it. They were taught to hide. Toughen up. Stop crying. Don't show your emotions. You know, um, or to fight it out. So looking back, they did like what they had, and now they don't have it. You see actors, they liked being famous, or they liked the money, they liked the accommodations and special treatment. And once that's gone, they don't. know how to feel. That little corn boy is corn. Uh, it was interesting. Have you guys seen that? That little boy is corn, where they were interviewing him, and he's like, "Yeah, now that I've retired, you know, I don't even know 5 to 7 years old. Now that I've retired, and he's like, I just didn't feel myself after being famous. I the way he said it made me feel what he is saying is I got up to status, and once I retired I didn't feel myself because he identified as the corn boy now. So he's readjusting. um, and as far as them, they don't feel themselves because they don't know who they are. They have to have uh, their identity put onto them, that they don't bring it from within. So right now we're kind of tasting that. Am I pretty? Am I, is the other person prettier than me? Is the other person like, what can I do? What job can I get to make them love me again? And, um, should I start learning more about football? Should I like scrambling? That we get lost. And when we're thinking, we're in brain fog. Uh, and that's their life. That's their life. And sometimes, too, the frustration of not understanding what went wrong. Why are they so pissed at me? Um, because there are times that they try to be nice, you know, but they say it wrong, and it pushes people away. Like, uh, I had my burn scar surgery. They put a big balloon here and a balloon here and stretched out my skin with saline solution. Extremely painful. And he's like, well, it couldn't have been that bad if you're already home. And I was like, that was a couple days ago. But, they are trying to be like, well, great, you're home and you're probably doing better. But they're like, okay, you got like 200 stitches up and down. It can't be that bad. You're home. And it's like, I just needed to tell you, it hurt. And so they don't understand. Like, I was being kind. I was talking to you. I was responding to what you said, and they don't get it. So yeah, unfortunately, you know, higher incidence. So Basil is hiding. You retracted your message. um, Jen says, I believe narcs are likely to commit suicide. My ex-husband thought about it often. And they'll even tell other people, why don't you just kill yourself? Like, what's wrong with you? And that's extremely hurtful. I have my best friend, hers is telling her to go kill herself. Um, and that can hurt. And then you get depressed about that. It's not going to help. Just like telling a heavy person, well, you are fat, duh, and eat better. That's going to cause them to go into depression. It's not going to motivate them. It's going to cause the opposite outcome. So they do a lot of things that cause the opposite outcome. And their whole life, is karma after uh, lost connections. And being loved scares them. They are not used to being loved. Or the grandiose could be confused on what love is because one parent will overindulge them and the other. So they're walking on eggshells and they don't know who we are because in their eyes we're a balance of those two parents in a sense. And I want to make sure. Kaliwi says, what makes me wonder was why another narc asked me the other day when I'm going to another Euro cruise. I know the female narc lets others into people's places while they are gone. Does she have a key? Are these, I can't remember. Are these people part of the community employees? And I think you said you purchased your place, right? You're not renting, if I remember. Are you able to change the locks? Is there a way to offset that? But yeah, your therapist, as far as the research I've done, on point with what I've learned. So Lily, if you really mean that, I'm moving this summer. So I'm going to take you up on your offer to help me move. And Jen says, I believe narcs. Yes. And yeah, they'll think about it. I told you about my neighbor where he's like, I struggle every day. I struggle every day just to stay alive. Um, Update on him. He did break up with his girlfriend, a short-lived relationship, but he had said that when he was in a relationship, he has a son, his son was at his place, he had a new job, everything seemed to be going all right. And he's still, I don't know. I don't get it. Every day I struggle. He's an alcoholic trying to mask his feelings. Um, and you have to remember, alcohol can intensify your feelings. So if you're having a good day, it can intensify your good day. If you're having a bad day, it's going to intensify your bad day. You're going to get lost in those thoughts. That's why we have to be careful of the thoughts that we have in our heads, because it is how we guide ourselves, how we guide our thoughts. And it's practicing mindfulness, positive affirmations, and believing in ourselves. Fake it till you make it. Kalibi says, I told the male narc I'm done with my trips to Europe. I guess that kind of disappointed him. Yeah, and you wonder, it's almost like, is there an ulterior motive? Are you wanting to go with me? Or are you wanting to get into my place? Or, steal away my lover or whatever? Like, why are you asking? Like, and some people are, I could ask you, like, are you going again? Did you have fun? But yeah, a lot of times there's ulterior motives. Be careful not to, with people who aren't narcs, that you put that on them. Some people do generally have a happiness for you, or to hear more about it, and it's a icebreaker. Like, I don't know how to ask. Like, where was your favorite place to go? And because some people, pretty much everybody has little insecurities, and how do I start this conversation? And it'd be so nice if everybody had the self-esteem and the willingness to be truthful and the compassion to forgive. So thank you, Jen, for sharing that, because yeah, they do think about it, sometimes often. And John says that's why it's good to have security cameras. Just today, Cynthia, that drug guy showed up and started hanging on my apartment door, trying to get me to hang out and do drugs. I refused entry. Good for you. Yeah, it's not even worth tempting, especially some people are predisposed to be weak by that. I can be around drugs and I have no desire. I'll never do it. But it's better just to avoid the situation, because people get sneaky too. Sometimes they can put it in your drink or jab you. So it's better just not to even be around. Also, guilty by association. If there's a drug raid, if it's in your house, you are responsible for your premises. That's what always scared me, because there's times people would ask for a ride. And I didn't mind driving them, but I knew they like carried a couple things. And I was like, they could drop it in your car, or you're responsible for what's in your car, what's in your house. And I don't want that, yeah, it's not worth it. Kalibi says, I think narcs commit suicide for the reason that they can't take too much negativity in their miserable lives. It gets to a point where they're like, why even bother? Nobody's buying my BS, and I'm never going to be happy. I'm always going to feel lost. I'm never going to achieve this. I'm never going to be good enough. And what they don't realize is they could be good enough. And, a lot of them are really good looking. They have talents, but they're looking for the validation of who they are in the wrong things. Who you are is not what type of car you drive. Who you are is not the job you have. Who you are is not the clothes you have. Those are outside factors. They have no inner factors, and they're lost. They're an empty shell. And I had said, like, when the narcissist ghosts us, it makes us feel like we're dead. You're trying to talk to someone and you're talking to a wall and they're not responding to you. And it's like, it gives you this feeling of like, am I even here? You know you are, but they're not responding. It makes you almost feel like you're in this different world. And it causes you like, if I'm not here, why am I here? So be careful if you get to that point where um, it's the abuse. It's not. It's the wrong situation. It can turn quite toxic. So life is worth living. There's ups and downs in it. There's a lot of people who have attempted to do that, and it was unsuccessful. And looking back, they're glad it didn't happen. So we get to a state, whether it's a narcissist or somebody dealing with depression, to where you just feel there's no way out. And the narcissist, they've tried. How many partners have they had? How many jobs have they had? How many times have they moved? How many this? How many that? They're not as stable. And Bassel says the narcs love constant compliments, and that they either ask for it or demand it. Yeah. Yeah. And they will too. Like, hey, how you going? You doing? Don't I look good today? And you're like, or you're like, yeah, they will try to get a compliment like crazy, but they compliment you a lot of times, is so you'll compliment them back. You know, it's their identity. Yes. And they will demand it. Like, no, I asked you, how do I look? Okay, so I look good, but what about my hair? What about my dress? Do you like my nails? And it's like, geez, I already said it. And don't say you don't like something, because yeah, that won't be too good. I think narcs commit what, because they hate themselves and their inner voice is harsh. Yep, that's a good way to put it, Jen. Um, yeah, that they're not good enough. They're failures, and um, they're not getting the supply. They're not getting people saying you are okay. Their identity is from the outside. That their identity is not from the inside. So that's where you almost feel like dissociation, floating through life, trying to find yourself, trying to grasp, as opposed to I'm in me. I am right here. I am good. I am here. I am centered. They're not centered. They're searching, latch onto this, and it's just pieces that they're grasping onto. Okay, I'm popular, I'm rich, I'm this. It's not centered. And it's also the things that aren't what really matter in keeping you whole. You can be whole and poor, you know. Um, Kalibi says narcs implode when they get old, less supply to none, and lots of rejections. Yeah, people aren't putting up with it anymore. There's also people who warn them, and their tricks aren't as they're being seen through, especially in today's society now. Narcissism awareness, and how people are like, just discard. I think we got to be careful. We're teaching people, somebody does you wrong, just get rid of them. They need to teach to work through things, to communicate the right way. I'm scared how we're discard, discard, discard. Block, block. Don't even explain it to them. If we don't explain it to them, they're not going to learn from it. So you can say, look, it hurts me when you don't call back. I can't keep reaching out, and it hurts too much. I have to move on. Maybe they'll learn from it, but we're not teaching people to help. At least get the awareness out. We're screwing up our society pretty bad right now. These glasses make me dizzy. So yeah, they do implode, and that's the narcissistic collapse. I haven't done a video on that yet, but that is what it is. They do implode. Kalibi says, yes, the female narc is a board officer, has the, yeah, I thought you said something about that. Ugh. She has the keys to the units. I would change, I know you're not supposed to, I'd change my doorknob while you're out of town. And then it's like, oh, how did you know it was changed? But I know legally you're That's a contract you signed. Um, yeah, that sucks. Melissa said, but they, they do need a reason to enter, I believe. You'd have to check your contract. Melissa says, a narcissist told me she wished she could have abilities to heal, change, and grow. Um, yeah, she might. Do you know she was diagnosed as an MPD? Do you think possibly she might have BPD? Uh, BPDs are more likely to do that, and there are narcissists that know something's wrong, and there are some that do want. And there's some that have varying levels of empathy, even if they are diagnosed as NPD. Um, and she felt what, Melissa, that it was just hopeless. Um, and that's the thing, like we get caught up in it too. Is it hopeless? That's a good sign that she wishes that, but she's not taking hold of it to make it happen. Just like, yeah, I want to be, a fantastic gymnast, but if I'm not working out, if I'm not even going to the gym to even try or to get training to do a cartwheel or whatever, it's never going to happen. You have to make the steps. And a lot of times they don't want to make the steps. And I think a lot of them could at least interact in a healthy way, but they can interact in a healthy way, and they do at times, but they're never going to be happy. It's like the Nick fit of the cigarette addict, to where I need it now. I'm tired of waiting. I waited 2 hours. Fuck this. I need it now. And they hone in on their addiction. Their addiction is supply. They also take opportunities to dabble in things that they shouldn't, whether it's cheating or whatever. It becomes a challenge, or they miss certain things. John says, good point, Cynthia. I happened to find out recently. Anyway, he's being watched by the local police department. I think I did the right thing. Yeah. Oh, definitely, John. Definitely. Yeah, especially you got to remember too, cops are on the prowl, and you don't want to be tagged as one of those houses where we got to watch that, because if they bring it into your house, that's not good. They could set you up too. And they can, if it is a drug dealer, they're gonna make you feel like you can trust them. They're your friend, and then they get you hooked on things, and it's just for your money, and they'll discard you easily. Melissa says, a narcissist told me I'm sorry. So how is she doing now? Was there something, was it a breakup, or was it something that made her say that? John, yeah, you definitely did. John says, my narc husband ex would put his hands on his head and say his head feels pressure and like it will explode. This often preceded rages. And we have a kid at school who you start seeing signs of when the rage is going to happen. I'm not saying the kid is a narcissist. He's got some stuff going on, though. Something in the brain is, he's like kicked kids pretty hard, and he can't be left alone. But you start seeing either pacing or physical agitations, things like that. We do have certain things in place, like a bouncy rubber band, a bungee cord on the back of his, between the legs of his chair, so he can kind of fidget. It's almost like trying to rebalance the brain through physical activity. But yeah, they will feel that pressure. They can definitely, their body is changing. Their heart rate, respirations could be changing. The brain can change the body's function. Yeah, and it's almost like, I need to let go of this. I need a release of it. They can deal with it for a little bit, and then they can't. It's that breaking point, the brain just overtook. And you hear about people who have rages and black out. that they're still doing things. They're still targeted. They see the victim that they're trying to attack, but they black out, and it's almost like going in overdrive. So when they get to that rage, the brain just goes into overdrive. Oh, Jen, that must have been scary. He has high blood pressure and hypothyroid. Let's see, hypo. Now, hypo is when the thyroid's not producing enough. I got to study that a little bit more. Is that Hashimoto's? I think that's Hashimoto's. So the high blood pressure, stress can lead to high blood pressure. So can other things too, like being overweight or different things like that. Yeah, hypothyroid. But my brother, was his hyper or hypo? I think my brother had hypo, but he changed his diet to gluten-free, and he doesn't need. I think our family has hypo instead of hyper, which is too much thyroid. But that affects you. I need to do a little bit more research on that. I just know that my brother, when he did go gluten-free, he doesn't need it anymore, and feels better. But we have like some gluten allergy in our family and celiac as well. And it can, when you're stressed like that and your blood pressure is high, you can escalate your blood pressure, and just how it feels. Oh, Basil. You retracted it. I had hypothyroidism and irritable bowel syndrome, and that could be a reaction to some of the trauma too. It's interesting how stressors on the body affect us. There are people who get rid of the narcissist or the emotional turmoil, and they're healed on certain things. Their diabetes goes away at times, not always. The blood pressure regulates, but the trauma for the narcissist is so internalized now that they can't escape it. So we were abused, and we have to heal where we're kind of escaping and getting back to ourselves. But the narcissist, to get back to themselves, is who they are. And that's who they are. Who do they get back to? A false identity. So I hope that makes sense, where I think this is the most profound thing I've said. When we're trying to get back to ourselves after the abuse, we get back to ourselves. The narcissist, to get back to themselves, they can either stay themselves, which is horrible, or they can get a false identity. And they're going to live that false identity, but it's not going to feel real to them, because that's not who they are. When we get back to who we are, that's real. So your girlfriend had thyroid problems as well. Yeah, there's quite a few people that do have that. But guys, I love you guys lots. I do have school in the morning. This princess needs her beauty sleep. So I will log on tomorrow. Tomorrow I have, after school, I'm doing a health class. I'll be doing those for the next 7 weeks through that thing I do on OutSchool. But feel free to give me some topic requests for tomorrow. Bye, princess. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for putting up with my princess. It was fun. Thanks for playing dress up with me, guys. And I'll see you soon. Please like and subscribe. Share this with people who it might help. And I'll see you soon. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. See you soon. Bye.